walk anywhere and see people I know and just be in this total community with all the things that I love.
I like going on walks and seeing my friends.
I can walk a block and not hear any traffic. And I can walk to every bar in town. That's the best part.
It's a perfect place for balances, you know. People know each other quite well. Friendships deepen, facades fall away that maybe don't fall away so easily in a more bustling metropolis. And
here, the president of the college, the mayor, are people I call by their first names. And when I walk down Main Street, the guys on the city truck say, "Hi, Betty." That I like.
A place for me mostly has to do with its people.
Well, I think the thing that's kept me in Frostburg is the friendliness of the people.
The people here are very friendly.
People are really friendly.
More easy, the customer more easy to deal, nice people. That's why I'm here 22 years.
I like Frostburg because it's a really nice place to grow up and it's a great family place.
So as our children went to school, they formed close friendships that they maintain to this day.
And Frostburg's a big part of that. I mean, listen, church bells. You hear it?
It's a quiet neighborhood, except when the little fire whistles go off and then the dogs go off.
Well, it's a quiet place, usually. It gets a little rowdy sometimes in the fall of the year when the college students come back.
I love the college students coming up and down the street. I miss them when they're not here in the summertime.
But it's a college town, and I think as a result, people are more open.
The growth of the school here and its recognition has made a big difference.
There's good things about being a college town, and then there are things that people don't like.
A lot of people blame college kids for everything, but they're wrong.
I think they add an energy to our town that I really like.
The intellectual climate is much different from elsewhere. The fact that you can talk to somebody about something that's not work-related or entertainment related, that I kind of need. It's like you need oxygen.
Film comes in on plastic reels. They're called shipping reels. So we still do the reel-to-reel, which is why we have two projectors. This is the lamp. This is the 35mm projector. You know, they're more like cars than anything else. And so from 1983 till now, it's been the Frostburg Palace Theater Incorporated.
Part of our goal has been to challenge assumptions about entertainment, to show film that isn't just sort of escapist time, but is active, active engagement, and to encourage people after a film to talk.
Big plate, $5.
Right, do you want a tofu dog or you want a hot dog?
I want a hot dog, please.
Tofu dog? I came here, I visited semi-regularly or whatever, because there was something unique about the community here that just intrigued me.
I've had some chance to travel, and I still think through it all that Frostburg is one of the most beautiful, special places I've ever been. You know, of course everyone wants to think that their hometown's unique, so yeah, there's probably a bias there. You know, and it isn't perfect. I mean, if you look around, you can see that. But I think there is something going on here, too. And I've had friends that have come here, you know, for the first time, and I think they see it as well.
I'm not actually from Frostburg, but I feel like an adopted son sometimes. And it's become this sort of ritual for me to have to go home to Frostburg and I even call it home whenever I'm on the East Coast. I've lived in towns that are 10 times the size of Frostburg or 100 times the size of Frostburg, and they don't have the same sort of artistic and sort of inspirational community that I find there. You meet really, really smart people in Frostburg. People have a really interesting outlook on life.
Okay, well, why are there interesting folks here? That's one thing.
I think it has to do with growing up here or living here, and you get a very strong sense of connectedness to the land. And I think that changes you. You know, it brings us sort of a quality of simplicity and of joy and a kind of a salt-of-the-earth sensibility that I think practically all people in Frostburg share. And so I think that's definitely a part of it.
Well, the people who came here put down roots, and that's rather unusual. And the same family names that existed way back there in the frost period are current now.
I just think that there's some sort of precedent for doing things yourself.
It is still the town where people dug a swimming pool by hand with volunteers.
So I think that makes it a very grounded place, but at the same time, there really is an odd little culture here that is very outward looking and accepting, and I think very aware in a lot of ways, and perhaps a little eccentric, you know, and I think people might say, oh, that's because there's a college here. And that's definitely true, you know, the college brings a lot of flavor to this town, but I also think that misses the point. I think that the culture here emerges out of the interaction between the college culture and the Appalachian culture. You know, it's both together. And I think that what that tells us is that the interaction is actually really important.
So you have like an adventurous spirit, and you also have the academic sort of knowledge side of things.
And the blend of that, along with the natural gifts of this area, I think is what makes it special.
So, cheers.
Cheers to a small town.
Hello, I'm Walt. Thank you for tuning in to tonight's show. Coming up this hour, so some new stuff from Alabama Shakes, King Tough, New God, and a whole lot more. But first, the Figs and All the World Will Fall on 91.9 WFWM.
Bob used to be a dreamer. He could really dream away, and his mind was like a theater.
I graduated from Bell High School in 1964. And I can remember on Friday and Saturday night, this town was so busy, you couldn't find a parking place on Main Street.
Of all the changes in town, I think Main Street has changed more than anything in Frostburg.
The loss of some of the old stores on Main Street, there's now mostly pizza places.
We used to have 3 hardware stores here, locally owned hardware stores here. Now we have none, but we have a Lowe's and we have a Walmart.
Everything's going okay, but the economy here lately's been a little on the rocky side. We're here 73 years this year. I hope to hang on to at least 75 years.
Because all my friends that actually live here and raise their family here, they end up having to get a job at the prison or down the road somewhere. And that's a long drive, and when you come home, you end up wanting to just go to sleep. You end up sleeping for 4 or 5 hours, get up, spend time with your kids, go to work again. And I ain't no doctor, but that ain't healthy.
We were the only two last night sitting out on our porch with all these homes around us.
A lot of the older folks have died.
Yeah.
And that generation is gone. And the younger generation are on a different pace.
For whatever reason, people in modern times who live in rural areas don't walk as much as people who live in urban areas, even though Frostburg is very walkable.
Our children were first of the computer age, and I think that has changed how we interact with each other and with the wider world.
I think that we're more stressful now than our predecessors. I think a lot of it is our own doing. We live at such a fast pace, we think everything has to go at that pace.
You know, even when we do renovations here at the Palace, like you see what this building once was. You really doubt this idea that progress is bringing, like, technology and progress is bringing us so much more conveniences, and things are getting better all the time.
You see all these things degrading, and you see a place like this that's so beautiful, that's got so much opportunity, so much potential, and you don't want that to die.
Things are changing so quickly, and we have so many opportunities now that the previous generations didn't have. Yet I sense in 2012, we're also on the cusp of losing so much of what we truly care for as a community.
On the other hand, I think that Frostburg is potentially uniquely poised to respond to that call. The sense of community, the diversity of the community, the creativity of the people as we draw again closer together.
My hopes for the future are quite local. I believe you can solve things locally.
Instead of everybody being like, oh, it's small town and it's boring and there's nothing to do, it's not, a big city and there's nothing going on, why not create it where you live?
What in the world does happen to places like Frostburg? We're only as good as the people who live here.
What we have to understand is that none of this is going to happen unless we in ourselves start to reflect what we want to see happen in the world.
All adds up when the day is done.
I think that we're living in such a fascinating time, and we've got such a tremendous opportunity in front of us to create the community that we want to see. Because at the end of the day, this place isn't just a town. Frostburg is so much a part of who we are. Frostburg is our home.
I don't really care if you remember. I know that's gotta be so hard to hear. But everything has changed over again. It all ends up when the day is clear. I don't really care what time it is. All I know is I just can't see it. And everything is real. I mean, what you feel inside. The day is done.
I have no longing to be anyplace else.